Welcome to Big Bob's Barbecue and More. Today we're making something special. We're making bacon. It's a salty, fatty, savory, awesome thing to do at home. It's some charcuterie, which means it's preserved meats, preserved foods. Some people are a little hesitant to do it, but it's not hard. This is actually the advanced technique of using a dry cure. The wet cure is very simple, but you don't get the depth of flavor, and it's really not that much simpler than the dry cure. The dry cure can be done by anybody. So, let's get started. First thing you need is a pork belly. I've obtained a 10-pound pork belly. We're going to work with it in about 5-pound chunks. It's just a lot easier to work that way. For every 5 pounds, you need 1/3 of a cup of kosher salt, 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons black pepper. If you like black pepper, make it 3 tablespoons. I only like it, so I'm only going 2 tablespoons. 2 teaspoons of pink salt. This is a curing salt. Make sure to use number 1 curing salt. If you're curing something less than 30 days, use number 1. If it's going to be more than 30 days, use number 2. This pink salt is what keeps botulism away. That's huge. You don't want to kill your family, friends, and loved ones. It's just one of the benefits of making your own bacon. The risk of killing something. No, that's not right. Alright, so we've got a 10-pound pork belly. We're going to kind of fold it in half, figure out where about 5 pounds is. You've got a nice fillet knife, cut it in half. And you can see your future bacon right there. That's going to be a strip of bacon right along there. That fat, that meat, they're going to get salted, preserved. It's going to taste wonderful. So we're going to put this on a separate pan. Set that aside, and we're going to come back to that one later. We have this here. We're going to take all of our ingredients, we're just going to put it into one measuring cup here. The brown sugar, the pepper, the pink salt. We're going to mix it up. Now, as far as sweeteners, I'm using brown sugar. You can use white table sugar, dextrose, maltose, maple sugar, cane sugar, any type of sugar that you think you might want to try. So now, we're going to take this, we're going to dump some on here, we're going to rub that in real nice, all over. We're going to flip it over, we're going to get the fat side. Make sure we get that. Okay. Alright, we transferred the pork belly, half of it actually, into a big resealable plastic bag. I love these jumbo bags. It's easier than wrestling with saran wrap or another contraption that people come up with. I picked up all the excess rub that came off and fell onto the pan. I put it in here. I still have some in the measuring cup. We're going to throw it in there. We're going to take this, we're going to squeeze out all the air we can, within reason. We're going to seal it up. And if you have another cookie sheet, high-rimmed pan, whatever you have at your disposal, we're going to put that in there. We're going to make sure that the seam that you open is up, and this is going into the refrigerator for 6 days. Every morning when you wake up, you're going to flip it over. You'll see water coming out of the pork belly, and it mixes with the salt, the pepper, and the sugar, and it forms a brine. And that brine is going to draw more and more moisture out of here, and it's going to become quite firm. On the 6th day, we're going to smoke it. So now we're going to do the other one. I'll be back in a few minutes. So here we are, day 1, first flip. There's the bacon. We're going to pull that out. Set that down. I marked on here that we started that on the 9th. So you can already see the liquid forming in here. We're just going to shake it up. We're going to flip that over. And there's the liquid in the other one. We're going to shake this up. We're going to put that back down. That's all the maintenance we have to do. Now, back in the fridge for another day. Alright, so we did the other 5 pounds of the 10-pound slab as well. That's all put in the bag, sealed up. We're going to put that in the same exact container that's going to go in the refrigerator. Like I said, every morning you're going to wake up, you're just going to flip it over, and that way the brine gets all the way around the piece of meat. On day 6, we're going to cut off a little piece, fry it up, and check it. Make sure it's the right saltiness. And I'm sure it will be. One thing we're going to do, we're going to rinse this off at the end of the 6 days. We're going to prepare our smoker, and we're going to smoke the bacon, because all American bacon should be smoked. Not all bacons in the world are smoked, but American bacon typically is. I'm personally going to use a pecan smoke. Some people have access to oak, hickory, mesquite. You do what works for you and what you like. We'll be back. I'll show you flipping this thing every day. Alright, here we are, day 2. We're going to flip the bacon. So we take that out. Flipping that over, you can see that brine developing. Rub it all around. See that it's nicely distributed. We're going to set that aside. We're going to flip that over. There's going to be a nice peppery, sweet flavor in here. You can feel it firming up at the thickest points. That's a good thing. And now, back in the fridge. Alright, here we are. Day 3. It's time to flip the bacon. For all those viewers out there who love Alton Brown, I wish I had his fridge. That way, I could just have the camera in the back and not do any of the work. Alright. Oh, look at that brine. See that brine forming? That's nice. You see that brine? That's good. You see all that fluid moving around? Alright, and that's it. We'll see you tomorrow.
Dunkin' Donuts are always fresh. I made the donut.
Day 4, here we go. You guessed it. You know what we're going to do with the bacon. Time to make the bacon. You can see there's a lot of brine. It's definitely feeling firmer. Oh, it's starting to feel real good. And now we put it back. We'll see you tomorrow. Alright, so here we are, day 5. This is going to be the last time we turn the bacon before day 6. So bacon is looking good. There's a nice brine penetrating everywhere. You can feel the pork bellies firming up. So we're going to check this one on the bottom. That's a nice brine in there. Okay, you can see the juice. That too is also nice and firm. We're going to put that back in the refrigerator. Now tomorrow we're going to do something different. We're going to take it out. We're going to rinse it off under the faucet, wash off all the rub. We're going to pat it dry. We're going to put it back in the refrigerator for a couple of hours. We're going to let it just dry and rest. After that, since it's so cold here, I am in North Texas and it's about 20 degrees. Now the folks in Canada and Minnesota, yeah, they're going to laugh at us for that, but it's cold to us. So I don't want to go outside and use the smoker. What we're going to do is we're going to put it in the oven and we're going to bring the internal temperature of the meat to about 150 degrees. Then we're going to stop. So the bacon's going to get a nice bronze look on it. After that, we're going to refrigerate it again for a few hours. Then we're going to slice it up. And we're going to do a lot of special things when we slice it because we have a lot of projects for this bacon. We love bacon. Every year now, I'm probably running 60 to 100 pounds of bacon I'm making. I give some away, I don't eat it all. Otherwise I'd be enormous. But it makes a really good gift and we do eat a lot of it. And we eat it all sorts of different ways. We'll see you tomorrow. Alright, the pork belly has brined for 6 days now. We flipped it every day. We got this wonderful brine here that you can see in the plastic bag. Now it's time to rinse it off. We're going to rinse it off under running cold water, and then we're going to pat it dry. Then we're going to put it back in the fridge on some racks so that it stays dry. It's going to stay in the refrigerator for between 4 hours and 3 days, so whatever fits your schedule. I'm only going to do for 4 hours. And we're going to slice it up right after that, and then we'll have the magical bacon that's all ready. So let's get rinsing. So we take it out of the bag, and it should feel firm, much more firm than when you originally put it in. So we let that dry off, let that drip dry. And we're going to put it on there. Then we're going to take our other one and we're going to do the same. We're just going to take this. We're going to take some paper towels. And we're just going to pat them dry. And this is what a half slab of bacon looks like. It's called slab bacon, but this would be half a pork belly. So we're going to put that down there. We're We're going to take this other one. Make sure any indentations in the fat, you sop up the wet puddles from the water. That's good. Maybe a few more paper towels. And now we're going to put this in the refrigerator for 4 more hours. Just let it. Now that it's dry, we're going to put it back in the refrigerator for 4 hours, up to 3 days. It can stay in there in this rack to dry. After that, we're going to do something different. Instead of smoking it on the smoker, we're going to hot cure it in the oven. We're going to put it in there for about 2 hours till the internal temperature reaches 150 degrees. When it's 150 degrees, we're going to pull it out and cool it down again. Then it's ready to slice. We rested the meat for 3 hours. Actually, we did it overnight. You can make this fit your schedule. We've taken it off the racks that went in the refrigerator. We put it on some oven-safe racks. Put a pan underneath it so that we catch anything that comes off of it, any drippings, keep your oven safe. We're going to put it in the oven at 200 degrees. At the 90-minute mark, we're going to start using an instant read thermometer and check for the internal temperature. When the internal temperature hits 150 degrees, we're going to pull it out, leave it at room temperature. There's going to be a beautiful bronzing that happens when it goes in for the first 90 minutes. And the aroma is going to be incredible. Let's put it in. I've got the timer set. We'll check back in 90 minutes. We're 30 minutes into browning this up. It's starting to smell wonderful. It looks pretty good. We probably shouldn't be peeking, so we're going to close it up and just let the process continue. Alright, it's been 90 minutes. We're going to pull this out and we're going to take the temperature. We're trying for 150 degrees in the center. Now, don't stick it in this way because then all your bacon slices will have a hole through them. So stick it in one of the sides. So we are at 115 on that one. And 116 on that one. So we can go another half hour. We'll come back in about 10 minutes and check again. Alright, it's been another 15 minutes. So let's check that temperature again. We're at 122 on that one. And 129 on that one. So we're going to give it another 10 minutes. We're going to come back and check it again shortly. It's been 10 minutes. We're going to take another reading. That's at 150. And that's at 149 and a half. It's time to take it out. We're going to let these rest. They're going to cool down to room temperature. And then we're going to put them in the refrigerator, and then we're going to slice them up. We've washed the pan that I cured the bacon in when it was in the refrigerator. We've rinsed this. We've gotten the internal temperature up to 150 degrees, and now they're down to room temperature. We're just going to lift them up. They're nice and firm. We're going to put them back in this pan, and they're going to go into the refrigerator for about 2 hours, chill them all the way down. Then the fun begins. We're going to slice them up. Alright, we are back. This is a slab of bacon. We are now going to slice this up. And you can see from where I sliced it, it's not necessarily a nice straight edge. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut some extra thick pieces right here. We're going to square up the sides. We're going to cut what's called a lardon, which is more than just a thick piece of bacon. It's used in French cuisine a lot, and it can be around 1/4 to a 1/2 inch thick. I'm going to do mine right smack dab in the middle at 3/8 of an inch thick. And we're going to use that in other recipes because I'm going to cut this nice and thick right here, and then we're going to cut it up that way. You can use it in salads. We're going to use ours in a future video for bacon wrapped bacon. Yep, that's right. Nothing says bacon like bacon wrapped bacon. Alright, let's get started. You can see just how nice that bacon turned out. See that wonderful pink? That's from the pink salt that was used to preserve it. And this is nice and thick. That's about 3/8 of an inch thick. That would be a very thick cut of bacon. And just to be clear, when you're making bacon or buying bacon, you can sometimes buy it as a slab, or if you buy thick bacon, that should generally be 10 to 14 slices per pound of bacon. A regular cut would be 16 to 20, and thin cut, which is pretty uncommon, would be about 28 to 32 slices per pound. And it varies because pork is a natural product. Alright, so we're going to square up this other end here. Get that seated well. We now have that squared up nicely. Now we'll take care of the other piece and square that up. Get a couple of lardons off that. And we can have a lot of fun with lardons. One thing the French have right is the cuisine. And you can see on that other slab, that wonderful pink. So now I'm going to change my settings to go for more of a thick cut. And this is how I'm going to process most of the bacon. I'm actually going to do quite a bit of thin cut as well, because for the bacon wrapped bacon you want to wrap lardon in a thin cut. It just seems to cook better that way. So hang in there. Let's watch some thick cuts go. Now, as I cut it, I have the stacks of bacon right here. These are my lardons. I'll set those aside. Those are going to get stored in a separate bag. And then I do about 10 slices per stack. You do what you need to do for yourself. I do 10 because we're a family of 5, and at breakfast we get 2 slices of bacon each. So, let's keep going. So I cut several pounds. I've got 4 pounds plus 6 or 8 lardons here. Now, I've got this nice thick piece of bacon left over. That's pretty thick. I might just cut that in half and have an extra set of lardons here. It's hard to have too much bacon. And so now we've got a couple of really nice cuts. So we've got this stack of bacon. That's a pretty view right there. Now, one thing we're going to do, we're going to take this bacon after I'm done slicing it. So this is all thick cut. And we're going to put it in freezer bags with a food saver system. It'll stay just fine in the refrigerator for several weeks. It is a preserved meat. But when you freeze it and put it in a food saver, it'll stay perfectly fine for probably close to a year. Bacon doesn't last that long in my house. We're talking a month tops. Alright, let's get on with it. I think we're going to do some thin slices now. I'm adjusting the settings on my machine. And since these are going to be considerably thinner, I'm going to aim for between a thin and a regular cut, 24 to maybe 28 slices per pound. So that's a pound of about thin slice. That's a very thin slice. Now I think we're going to update it to go to a regular slice and finish it up from there. And I stopped slicing it there because we're left with this end cut. That's a beautiful lardon. We can use this in salads, like I said. We can use it for bacon wrapped bacon. We can do all sorts of nice things with this. We could cube it and use it in baked beans. We could use it in various vegetable recipes. Sky's the limit. If you like bacon, there's plenty of it. Alright, we'll be back in a minute. I didn't want to bore you with the video of me packaging up bacon into plastic bags. This is the food saver system. If you like, you can certainly use Ziploc bags. I like to arrange it neatly because sometimes I give these as gifts. There's no need for that. One thing I recommend, before you seal it, write on the labeling section, this white bar, what it is. Because once you vacuum seal it, it's all wrinkly and it's really tough to write on. So I tell you how many slices are in here. So this is 10 thick cut plus 1 regular cut. Come up with a system that works for you. And that's what a final package of bacon looks like. Alright, so we've got a nice stack of bacon. We got lardons, we got thick cut, we got regular cut, and we have thin cut. Like I said, come up with a system that works for you. So I've labeled this bacon lardons, 4 of them. So I know there's 4 lardons in here. Going to put that in the refrigerator if we're going to use it real soon, in the freezer if we're going to use it in the next couple of weeks. Thank you for watching Big Bob's Barbecue and More. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. And if you really like what you saw, please make sure to follow the link below, go to the Amazon affiliate, and you can purchase things that you saw in the video, and that will also support me. Thanks again. If you have any questions, email me at bigbobsbarbecue@gmail.com. Thanks again. Happy barbecuing. Thank you for watching Big Bob's Barbecue and More. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. And if you really like what you saw, please make sure to follow the link below, go to the Amazon affiliate, and you can purchase things that you saw in the video, and that will also support me. Thanks again. If you have any questions, email me at bigbobsbarbecue@gmail.com. Thanks again. Happy barbecuing.